AXI is stand for Advanced Extension Interface. This interface is developed by ARM and it is an industry standard for the connection between CPU and the peripherals inside a SoC. As you can see, this is typically SoC block diagram. It can be AHP or AXI for high-speed data transfer between CPU, memory and peripherals. For example, security API core or the RF baseband processor. And there is also a PV bus for low-speed peripherals such as GPIO, UART, SPI, I2C or timers. This bus is connected to the high-speed AXI or AHP bus by using APV bridge. You can find this interface inside the ARM Cortex-A series, mostly in this series, but you can also find this interface inside the Cortex-R series or even inside the high performance M7 series. Today, many electronic devices such as smartphones, tablets and embedded devices use SoC, as all of you know. For example, you can find this SoC, Qualcomm Snapdragon inside your smartphone. And also this one, Samsung Exynos is mostly inside your Samsung smartphone. And then this one, if you know Raspberry Pi, this single board computer is also used SoC from Broadcom. All of these SoCs are based on ARM architecture, so the system bus is AXI. It can be version 3 or version 4. As we know, two versions are there for AXI buses. As you know, these companies are big companies in the SoC field. So if you have a dream maybe to get job at one of these companies or other companies in SoC field, then mastering AXI bus protocol is must. Now what is Zynq? Zynq is actually a system on chip, not just FPGA, because Zynq consists of hard processing system. The CPU itself is ARM Cortex-A9 series, and inside this chip there is also FPGA, the Xilinx 7 series FPGA, that equivalent to RTX 7 FPGA. The Zynq device enables the implementation of custom logic such as hardware accelerator in combination with software that runs on the ARM Cortex-A9. The Zynq can also run Linux operating system, which makes this device like the popular Raspberry Pi but with FPGA inside. Here, if you look at the block diagram, there is a dual ARM core Cortex-A9 CPU, and there is a DMA here and then on-chip memory, and then there is also dynamic memory controller, so you can use DDR2 or DDR3 memory. And then there are also peripherals such as SPI, I2C, CAN, UART, GPIO, USB, Ethernet, SDIO. So you can connect the CPU to these peripherals. This part of the chink is called processing system or PS, and this part of the chip is called programmable logic or PL. Inside this FPGA part, you can create your own IP core or your RTL module. Then that can communicate to the CPU by using this system bus, which is AXI bus. There are several interesting applications that can use Zinc SoC. For example, this one for neural network accelerator. This application can take the benefit of FPGA inside the SoC because neural network. So by using Zinc, you can accelerate the learning process of the neural network in the FPGA part. And then the CPU can communicate to this neural network core by using XI4 system bus. You can also install Linux operating system, and you can create a C or C++ program to create an embedded web server. So you can access this neural network core from the web interface. I think it is a really interesting application where you can combine the hardware design and software design in one SoC, in one development board. This is another example where Zinc SoC is useful. This application is Li-Fi or Light Fidelity. If you have not heard about Li-Fi, this technology is similar to Wi-Fi for data communication, but instead of using RF signal, Li-Fi uses visible light as the medium. So the advantage of this technology is we can use light as illumination source and data communication source at the same time. The data is transmitted by using LED and received by using photodiode. So in order to send the data, we need to baseband system and bitstream data using several modulation techniques, either digital such as PWM or PPM, or analog such as FDM. If we build this baseband processor or the physical layer for this Li-Fi inside the main CPU, then the speed will be slow. So we need to develop the dedicated code in FPGA, and then we also can access this code from Linux operating system. For example, we can create a driver that connects Li-Fi code to the Ethernet.